Hey Leo, it's Regina here at Tarot and Time in Kent, Connecticut. Let's jump into the month of August using tarot and astrology for everyday living. So Leo, this is your month. The sun is in your sign until August 22nd. It's a beautiful, beautiful time. We have Venus in your sign of Leo at the end of the month, August 25th through September 9th. It's really all about you, Leo. Now, you do need to keep, your ego in check this month. And some of that, well, we're going to talk more about that. So, first of all, you have a sextile going on, which is positive aspect with the planet Mars, the planet of action, in the sign, the air sign of Libra, a relationship sign. Now, it's not the best placement for Mars. It's considered its detriment. We have to make sure that we're considering others, that we're watching our words, that we're kind to others. But this is a harmonious aspect for you. So as long as you watch your manners and you consider others, then things can go smoothly for you. You also have a sextile with Uranus, the oh wow planet, the divine intervention planet, the divine insight planet, in the sign of Gemini. You also have a sextile there. So you can get really great information. You can get sudden ideas, divine insight. So that's wonderful. Now, the full moon in Aquarius happens this month, and Aquarius is the sign opposite to you, right? So this is a great full moon. Now, I got so many papers here about everything. August 9th, 3:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is a 16-degree Aquarius full moon. Now, it doesn't have any aspects to it, which is not, doesn't happen too often. Usually we have the moon will be squaring something or, trining something. No, it's just the sun and the moon across from each other, Aquarius and Leo. This is you. So the Aquarius full moon is considered to be a really enlightening day. It's a good time for therapy, for life coaching, for embracing your uniqueness, for taking a bird's eye view at yourself and really being able to see yourself clearly and be able to, make the changes you need to improve what you want, getting some coaching, getting some help to be able to do that. Well, you want to make sure that with all this Leo energy right now, especially, Mars, the planet of action, which is the god of war in Greek mythology, we want to make sure that our pride doesn't get in the way of that. Okay. So you really want, it's like almost like pride versus bird's eye view, pride versus how can I be a better person, or how can I improve myself, or how can I help others? And so you want to make sure that you keep that in check, that you have that balance this month. Okay. Now, you also have a nice trine going on with the planets in the sign of Aries, which is Saturn and Neptune. And you're a fire sign, that's a fire sign. So there's nice harmonious energy there, okay? With the planet Saturn, planet of responsibility, Neptune, creativity, and healing, okay? So interesting month for you, Leo. It can be great. You just have to make sure that you're considering others. And that's going to be hard enough with Mars in Libra because that's its detriment. And so Mars rules Aries, and Aries doesn't always want to think about others. It wants to do it alone. It wants to go it alone. And we have to think about others. And we have to, at least, if we're not going to collaborate and cooperate, we at least have to have good manners. So make sure that you keep that in check this month. Now, the moon will be in your sign on Wednesday, August 20th at 7:17 p.m. until Saturday, August 23rd at 1:24 a.m. So I would consider that to be power times for you. So see how you feel during those days. All right. All right, Leo, let's roll some Astro dice here for you and see some themes for the month. And of course, we rolled Leo. In the 9th house, we rolled the south node of the moon in the sign of Leo in the 9th house. Sagittarius's fire house. Okay. So the south node is the cup of the past. And the south node can be an example of it can be like someone from the past showing up and visiting. You know, it's summertime, a lot of people are on vacation. You might have someone from the past showing up. In the sign of Leo, heart base could be from childhood. Leo, you rule childhood, right? In the 9th house, which is traveling. So it's like old friend comes to town. That's great. Now, another version of the South Node can be old behaviors in the sign of Leo, right? We're talking about making sure that your ego is in check. Not, you know, a healthy Leo knows how to be healthy, selfish, but when you're out of balance, it can just lead to being selfish. Wanting to check some of those old behaviors, maybe before you got that down straight, and making sure that it doesn't get too big, because Jupiter owns the 9th house and Jupiter expands things. So keeping that in check. I would hope for you that it's an old friend coming to town and that you get to have some nice, fun, playful adventures. Okay. All right. So that's the dice. Let's go with a few cards here. Just as a general, what does Leo need to know this month? Let's see what we have coming up. Now, I guess I'm getting two from there. This is the Cozy Witch Tarot, and I'm going to give you one from the Witch's Garden. Now, keep in mind, I haven't looked at any of these cards yet. This is a live reading. And one from the Touchstone Tarot. We will put an oracle from the Wild Whiskers. And let's give you a couple from the Tea Leaf fortune cards. A couple of those. All right, let's see what you need to know here, Leo. Your first card that's coming up is the 9 of Pentacles. Pause and savor the results of your success. Well, that looks pretty lovely, the hammock situation here. All these pentacles, all these things of value. And it's asking you to just enjoy the finer things. 9 of Pentacles is when all is well and you've worked hard for these things, so enjoy it. Feels like vacation situation. Now your next card is the 8 of Pentacles, and it says, sorry, but fairies aren't going to come and do all the work for you. So it's kind of funny that you've got like this work card next to almost like this vacation card. All right, so you got a little bit of both going on. We have the 3 of Wands here. So it's really beautiful. She's really just like almost like setting her intention, putting it out there, and very calm. 3 of Wands is usually about like someone, it usually shows like somebody climbing a mountain and looking off and seeing where they want to go on the next adventure. She is kind of going inside, internally. So it's almost like internal, external, internal. Let's see what the next one is. Temperance. Jupiter. This is what you rolled. 9th house. Temperance. Luck, blessings, and expansion. And I'm not sure. I'm going to look. I don't usually use the book that comes with the deck, but I want to see what they're referencing in there. So Temperance, ruled by Jupiter, says a young woman in a demure brown costume with a white hat and veil pours water from a jug into a cup. Beside her is a statue of an angel. A dove perches on the bench, and behind her is a jug full of irises and lilies. She modestly averts her eyes. The face is that of a young Catherine of Aragon, recently widowed after the death of Arthur, Prince of Wales, and before she married his younger brother Henry VIII. A pragmatic solution to a diplomatic dilemma. Meanings: a balanced life with spiritual, emotional, and material needs met. This is the time of equilibrium, moderation, satisfaction with life's gifts, skilled diplomacy, and negotiation. The middle path. All right, so before she married Henry VIII, wasn't Henry VIII not a great guy? I'm not a good historian, but I thought Henry VIII went crazy. Is that him? So there's something here about balance, right? We saw rest, work, rest, and then temperance is balance. And we see how, and she had to make some choices that were probably outside of her, which is interesting. Okay, let's keep going and seeing what else we've got here. We've got the rowdy rooster, authority, influence, responsibility, proud and noble guardian. Grant me the power to rise up and shine. It seems like the responsibility, like she had to marry him out of responsibility. It was her status. It was what had to be done, right? Let's see what these two cards say. Ant, work, achievement, success. Got a lot of work and rest. And heart, love, deep affection, and caring, which is probably not what she felt having to marry his brother. So we see a lot of hard work, but we see this idea of love here. I'm just going to pull a couple more cards because I'm just basically getting like back and forth, but I'm seeing like call to duty to have to do something that maybe isn't out of love. Ace of Pentacles, something new, walking through that gateway, almost like into a new life, just like she was walking into a new life, dealing with loss and then having to marry someone else. Okay, so there's something new beginning here for you, Leo. Anything else? I got a jumper here, the Hermit. This is our card of the year this year. So she's going out, she's got her lantern, she's going out on her own. This is a Virgo card. Virgo's the analyzer. So there's a lot of quiet alone time. Interesting that 3 blind mice down there. Okay, now I'm thinking of the song. She cut off his head with a carving knife. Interesting. Does King Henry cut off his wife's head? Is that the right storyline? Okay, why is that coming through? Let's pick another one. Why is that coming through? Page of Wands, just because you're passionate about it doesn't mean it will be effortless. Okay, kind of getting the idea, like I'm just getting work, play. What does the heart really want? And then there's situations where you have to do things you might not have wanted to do. I see you analyzing the situation, stepping into new territory. Some of it you might be passionate about, but it's still a lot of hard work. And then the Sun card comes up. It's like a mirror image. Leo energy. You are Leo. Here's your ruling planet, the sun. Okay, so there's a lot of visibility here. All right, so what I'm getting is that you're breaking some kind of cycle here. It's the South Node that showed up in Leo, the matters of the heart. In the 9th house, Sagittarius's house of freedom. And I think that there's some kind of old storyline playing out here for you where women had to do what they had to do or what they were told to do. They, had to marry the next sibling or whatever was decided for them. And now the sun is shining. There's visibility here. And you're going to be able to make choices of freedom and choices that work for you and not just what you've been told or the repetition of some old cycle that's playing out. And I think this is very karmic. And let me just pull a card to see if I'm onto something here. The Star. Okay, have faith that healing is in the forecast. Okay, so you're breaking some kind of cycle, some very old cycle. And you're taking control, and it's not always pleasant and it's not always easy, but you are on the right path. Okay. I hope that makes sense to you, Leo. Please comment and let me know. Pulling 2 more tea leaf cards, and we've got the Teapot, which says deep friendship with someone of the same sex, and bird flying. News is on the way. Okay. So you may have some good people to turn to during this time. There's some news coming in, but I just see a free bird here. Okay. A high flying free bird. And so I think you're stepping into freedom, and I think that you're breaking old cycles. All right. I hope that you feel some connection to that. All right. I'm going to pull a couple cards specifically for your work life. What's going on in your secular life? Couple jumpers. One is the Hierophant. These kids are like knocking on this old witch's door here. Hierophant is someone that you would turn to for advice or someone in a higher position. You've got the 8. Oh no, this is the 3 of Pentacles, but it's hard at work, and it's a card of collaborating with others and building something. And the 6 of Cups, give yourself the compassion you were never given. Okay, so I see being compassionate with yourself, turning to some people, getting advice from whoever you need, but you're building something here for work-wise, okay? 6 of Cups might be a little emotional. And also I do think that that old friend's going to come to town and see it and share with you their outlook on you. Now, in the love department, let's put a couple cards down there for love. See what you need to know, Leo. What does Leo need to know about love? First card, Four of Cups. Try not to be so picky, okay? Okay, we don't want to be too picky. Sometimes Leos will have a lot of planets in Virgo. Virgo's known for nitpicking, so maybe some of it. We've got the Two of Coins, which is a reciprocal relationship here. Pentacles, something of value. And the Queen of Pentacles. So she's an earth queen. She's quite lovely, and she knows what's important and what's of value. So maybe you've been a little bit stubborn in love, but it's asking you to maybe not be too picky. Allow yourself to be seen and be loved. Here's a tea leaf oracle that says broken bridge, unsuccessful outcome to a problem. Probably maybe been having maybe some things when relationships have been going hard for you. And I got the Hat card. You will be playing a different role. Interesting. So maybe you've always been the one who's been pursued, and now maybe you're the one that's going to pursue. Am I onto something here? The Wheel, indecisiveness, allowing your life to ramble aimlessly. Okay, one more. Toxic witches. Be cautious of those who take more than they give. I think you've been in a cycle of being like the grounded one, being the one people turn to for power. And you've been in a cycle of the repetition of the same. And I think that you're ready to break that. Okay. And let's see if there's an advice card for how to break that. Here, good news. Okay. I do think that you are just breaking karmic cycles in general. All right. And that maybe it hasn't been showing up in your love life that great, but there's good news, it's saying. So I hope that you align with this reading, Leo. Please let me know what you've seen and what you feel, and I appreciate you listening.